During question time today, member for Kavieng and Shadow Treasurer Ian Lingstaki asked a series of questions related to the state of the economy. His questions included seeking clarification on the country's current exchange rate value, the value of the country's total debt, both in-country and internationally, and more. Mr. Lingstaki also sought clarification from the Treasurer as to why the national government was leaning towards what he termed dangerous deals with China.
Detailed listing of the reasons why your government continues to refuse to genuinely and comprehensively engage with the World Bank and IMF, like the Morata government did so well in 1999 and 2000, to refinance and redirect PNG's total loan portfolio from expensive lenders like the Exim Bank of China to friendly multilateral donors. Treasurer, you are well aware of the international community's concerns with loans issued by the Exim Bank of China, widely known as China's debt trap diplomacy, to Pacific Island nations wherein large infrastructure projects are used as collateral.
In response, the Treasurer acknowledged that the government had in recent times looked towards China for support.
No secret, we have been incurring more interest costs as we go by. Interest cost has been rising as we take advantage of some of the financing that is available to government and is in the normal course of government business. The government has stated from the outset quite clearly that we're going to try and increase the envelope available to the country to make strategic investments into infrastructure, health, law and order and education.
In responding, the Treasurer also took aim at the IMF and World Bank, claiming the advice from these institutions were not addressing the underlying issues to the country's economic problems.
And how the World Bank, in that engagement, and the IMF, for example, continues to talk about devaluing the kina, forcing the kina down. And my response to them is, can you please advise us on some of the more underlying, deeper structural issues? That means we have this large current account surplus, all these exports, and then we have foreign exchange issues. The World Bank and the IMF in these engagements should be giving us strategic advice, not talking about dealing with symptoms and devaluing our kina when we know that we have a surplus in terms of exports. So we need people like the World Bank and the IMF to be also genuine with us. That's right. Whose concerns are we dealing with here? Is it foreign companies or foreign countries or foreign institutions? Or are we standing up and supporting and advising Papua New Guinea on what is best for Papua New Guinea? You and I know the exports that we have. You and I see the numbers. But we don't see the financial and investment flows that support our kina. Instead, we talk about devaluing the kina.
The member for Namatanai raised a point of order, calling for the Treasurer to provide details on the true state of the country's economy, including the debt levels.
So the question is, in relation to the same subject, when are you going to give us the figures so we don't have to now cause you to challenge us all the time?
In responding to the member for Namatanai, the Treasurer assured Parliament that he would table the mid-year economic fiscal outlook in Parliament this week in an effort to provide insight into the true state of the country's economy.
And so I've released the final budget outcome figures in relation to 2017, which contains the up-to-date information in terms of the debt and the debt reconciliation. And in this week of Parliament, I'm doing my very best to make sure the MAIFO is also released, which will have all the detailed tables in it in relation to the reconciliations and the debt and all that, which to this date amounts to about 24 billion kina is the total debt, domestic and overseas, of Papua New Guinea. And that, so it can be released to Parliament and the public at the same time for everyone to scrutinize.